All right, guys. So we are all done with day one of the Wealthy Trustee program. So today we went over the business trust and how to set it up. So we went through every single paragraph of the trust so that we can understand the contents of the trust. And so now I want to actually open up the floor for questions. So whatever questions that you have based on what we reviewed today, go ahead and raise your hand so that I can answer any questions that you might have. And I will also look in the chat. So let's see here. So one question that I see in the chat is, if you are a notary, can you notarize your own trust? So if you are a notary, you should know the answer to that question. So notaries cannot notarize their own documents. So if you are one of the individuals that is going to sign, meaning that if you're going to sign as the trustee, then you cannot also notarize the trust. It has to be done by another notary, okay? But that's a good question, so thank you so much. The next one is, can the successor trustee be a current board member? Yes, they can be a current board member, and they can also serve as your future successor, because the future successor, that is a future position, and so they're not currently acting as a as a um as a trustee. Okay, so once they become a trustee, then they're going to have to replace their office position, because that position is now going to be vacant, because they're not going to be the trustee and the treasurer, so they would have to appoint another treasurer or secretary. All right, next we have Alexis. Hi, Alexis. How are you?
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Alexis. Nice to see you.
Thank you. So my question is, I'm transitioning out of Irrevocable, and I did run into a challenge with our um, property assessor's office when I was transferring the properties from my mom's trust to mine, which they wanted copies of because it's a statutory trust and all that. And so I'm wondering, when I said, as I'm setting this up today, should I respond back with the new trust? One, because I want to close the revocable, because I do have a few properties in that trust that moved over from my mother's trust. And then secondly, I wanted to know, I missed the part about the grantor, how do I select the grantor? Because I know I'm going to be the trustee.
All right, perfect. So if you're gonna transfer the property from the revocable to the irrevocable, you're just gonna have to do a quick claim deed from one trust to the next, and you're gonna have to document the new deed or record it. So
Okay.
that's the first thing that
Well,
you're
that'll
gonna,
take care of the trustee thing then. I mean, as far as the assessor, because they get the deed. Okay.
yeah, exactly. And then the next thing is, when it comes to the grantor can be anyone who's 18 years of older. I advise that you don't choose someone that you're related to, or at least someone close, like a parent or a sibling. You want it to be kind of like either extended family, or like someone that you're not related to, like a best friend or a neighbor or a coworker,
Perfect.
or
Okay.
someone else. There's two things that you need to know. One is that the grantor is going to have to sign and get the trust notarized, right?
Okay.
And then the second thing is that the grantor is going to have to apply for the EIN for the trust, because
Oh,
through the IRS, they are considered the responsible party. So they're going
okay.
to have to put their name and social in order to get the EIN for your trust.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And
That's important to know. Okay.
yeah, and you can use the same grantor for all of the trust that you create.
Okay. So I have to find, okay. Okay, cool with the deed piece of it. Now, one more question. I have a property that's out of state, and I was using an attorney because we use this attorney to move the deed before, because in this state they use a quick claim deed process. Because I'm in California, so California is a grant deed state, um, which is all kinds of issues. But anyway, um, so I'm wondering, with the one that's in the other state that I haven't gotten the deed moved over from my mom's trust because the attorney got off track with it and it didn't happen because everything's been done for a few months now. And I'm wondering, because I didn't file a death certificate in that state because she died in California, I don't know what would be the best way to move that piece of property into the new trust, because technically right now it's still in my mother's trust.
Okay, so that property is not in her name, it's in the name of her estate.
It is in the name of her estate. It's
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, and so who's the trustee of that estate? Is it you?
me. I'm the successor trustee.
Okay. You're the successor trustee or you're the acting trustee? Because those
I'm
are two.
successor trustee and the beneficiary.
Okay.
Because
So,
I outlived my siblings, so everything came to me is the reason why it went that way. So
oh, I see. Okay. All right. So then you're the one who's going to, so it's the same process. So you're gonna have to deed it from her estate into your estate.
okay,
Yeah, so it's the same exact process that we were that you would have to go through with your other property.
okay,
So
and just deed it over.
yeah,
Okay,
you gotta deed it over from one trust to the next trust.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because I had okay. Thank you so much for answering that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And you'll be able to see when we go through that on Friday. We'll go
Yeah, I was
through.
going to say I need help with that.
Yeah, you'll be able to see every step on Friday.
Okay, cool. Okay, thank
Uh,
you.
you're welcome,
All right.
Alexis. All right. Who do we have next? We have Sharon. Hi, Sharon. How are you, Miss Sharon?
Hi, Christina. How are you? I have two simple questions.
Yes,
Where
ma'am.
it says administrative contact information, the successor trustee and the co-trustee, you put their real address and their real phone numbers, not an IP visual, correct?
Correct.
And secondly, if your beneficiary is a minor, how does that work?
Yeah, so with the beneficiary, if they are a minor, then whatever assets that they receive, or if they're entitled to a distribution, either monthly or quarterly, then it's going to be controlled by their natural guardian. If they don't have a natural guardian, then whoever their legally appointed guardian is will be able to be their representative and dispose of those funds accordingly.
And if I didn't want the natural guardian to be the one to do it, how could I go in another venue?
You can appoint someone else. So
Okay.
you can as the fiduciary, you can control their funds, their distribution. Or you can appoint someone else to do it. But usually we'll have a tier, and so we'll go first to their natural guardian just because it makes sense because they like live with them and stuff like that. And then we'll go from there. So like let's just say they're, adopted or something like that. It'll go to the adoption, agency or the foster, family stuff like that. So whatever is applicable to that underage beneficiary.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, next we have, I'm gonna go with Lyric and then I'll go with Dina. So Lyric put on here. So can the trustee and the co-trustee be your name as the LLC, such as first name, last name LLC, and how does the business sign? So the trustee can be an entity, but you're not going to have the entity be a trustee and a co-trustee. It's just one, right? They can only serve as one, which is a trustee, okay? So they're not going to be both, and you don't need one entity to serve as a trustee and a co-trustee. But if you are the trustee and then you want your LLC to be your co-trustee, you can do that as well. And then how does the business sign? So your LLC, you would sign your LLC as you normally been doing. So your signature and then your position, right? But moving forward, if you're going to have the business trust be the actual holding company for the LLC, then what you'll do is you'll sign your signature and then you'll put as trustee of, and then you'll put the name of the entity that you're representing as a trustee. All right, next we have Dina. How are you? Hi, Dina, we can't hear you. You're still on mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Oh, okay, we're back. Hi.
I got kind of mixed up when we was doing the scheduling of
Yeah.
what asked for where. for Schedule A, it said I put the beneficiaries, the TCU, the beneficiaries, I listed my children. Is that correct?
For the business trust, you can list your children if you want to. Generally, what we recommend is that for the business trust, you list your family trust, and then for your family trust, you list all your children.
Okay, wait now. For the A, you said put the business trust. I'm sorry, put the family trust.
But yeah, for if you're filling out the business trust today, then go ahead and put the family trust, which is the one we'll create tomorrow. Go ahead and put that one as the beneficiary.
In section A. So, okay, in section B, I put the LLC. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And so in section C, it says beneficiary contract, and then it says trust beneficiary. What would I put there?
You put the name of the family trust.
Okay. Name of the family trust. Okay, I got that right. And then the last one is D. And in that section, I'm putting the name of the business trust.
Yeah, under where it says personal property, you're gonna put the name of the business, the name of the LLC.
Oh, the name of the LLC goes here.
Right, and then under the section that says beneficiary, you're gonna put the family trust name.
Okay, now wait a minute. Okay. I'm looking, okay, Schedule D. On Schedule D, it says it starts to Board of Trustees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And right there, and so what did I put there again?
Do you see where personal property and then next to it says beneficiary?
Oh, okay, yeah. Personal property, what goes there?
The name of the company, the LLC.
Okay. And then, okay. Okay. And then, okay. And then next to that, where it says beneficiary, what goes there?
The name of the family trust. So what you're saying is if the business trust doesn't exist anymore, then your company is going to go to your family trust. Your family trust is now going to own it because the business trust doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, I got it. I got it. But I start off at the top with the business trust name, and then down with the property, then put the LLC, and then as the beneficiary, then say my family trust.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Dina. Thank you. All right, next we're gonna go with Tracy. So Tracy says the business, real estate, vehicles, etc. we want to add to the trust should already be established or we add them later. So you're adding all the assets that you already have as of today. So if you haven't bought the real estate yet, you're not going to add it. If you haven't bought the vehicle yet, you're not going to add it. So the day that you close on the real estate, then you'll do an amendment and you'll add it to your Schedule B. And then next we have Shunda, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. And it says, are these sessions recorded or can we rewatch them? Yeah. So 1, they are recorded. 2, you have access to them in the portal. So when you get your login credentials, you log in and you should see 2 sections. One says workshop recordings and the other one says the Wealthy Trustee Program. The Wealthy Trustee Program is the actual course where you have all of the video modules, ebooks, resources, and the workshop recordings is where we put these videos. So you'll just log in, you'll just click on that section, and then you'll scroll all the way down to the bottom to where it says July of 20, it'll say today's date. July 29, 2024, day 1 of business trust, okay? So the recordings are going to be available usually like an hour after the workshop is completed, okay? After we're done. And then now we have Yvette. She said, can money be donated to the trust? Yeah, you can put, so we don't use the word donated when we're talking about the business trust. So the business trust, what you can do is money is an asset, right? And so you can put those funds into the trust. You can either loan that cash to the trust, or you can gift that cash to the trust if you don't want to consider it a loan, but you can put money into the trust. It's not a donation. We only use the term donation when we're talking about the nonprofit trust that we're going to use on Wednesday, okay? Next we have Miss Alania Bay. Hi, Miss Bay, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. You look beautiful as ever.
And look, it take one to know one, right?
Yeah, I agree. It looks like we have the same lipstick.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I got a couple of questions. Okay, I contacted Fidelity. You suggested Fidelity for the family trust. How does how do they how do they perform as far as dealing with the family trust? I mean, I know it's a brokerage, but what exactly do they do? Because they're not like a bank, right?
Yeah, correct. So you're going to use Fidelity for two things. The first one is to have a brokerage account. That is not a bank account. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that is an account that you use specifically for investments. Those investments are stocks, bonds, index funds, REITs. That is where you're going to be investing in the stock market. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's for investment purposes only. The second account that they are going to give you, joined with your brokerage account, is a cash management account. So that is
What
where
is that?
that is where you can hold money just like a checking account.
Mm-hmm.
You'll actually make more interest than you would with a regular checking account, and there's a debit card attached to it. It's not a checking account, it's not a savings account, it's a cash management account, and usually it's specifically for money that you want to deposit into that brokerage that eventually you're going to use it for investment purposes. So let's just say I want to buy stocks next month, but I have the money now, but I'm not ready to buy the stock next month. Then I'll go ahead and deposit that money into my cash management account, and it'll sit there until I'm ready to move it over into the brokerage account to then invest it with these companies.
Is that okay? Okay, would it be safe to put your retirement check in there? You know, instead of instead of Navy Federal Credit Union, can you
If you
move it since?
if you want to, so it's up to you. So it's not a bank to where you can walk up in there and there's checks attached to it and you can do wire transfers and stuff, like, no. So it's just you can put money in there, you can earn interest, there's a debit card attached to it, and then you can withdraw the funds, you can deposit the funds, and that's pretty much it. But the FDIC insurance is higher than what you would get with a bank or a credit union.
What do you mean higher?
So like with the bank or a credit union, your FDIC, your insurance, if anything happens to the money inside of the account, is 250,000. With cash management is $1 million.
And I was also looking at Ally. I heard that Ally was a pretty good bank I'm just all over the place right now. I'm not sure which one I want to do. I'm also I wanted to ask you, I'm also doing a foreign grantors trust. Can you put all of your trusts into the foreign grantors trust?
You can, so you can either make all of your other trusts the beneficiary of the foreign grantors trust, or you can make the foreign grantors trust the trustee of all of your other trust.
Okay. And one more question. I'm the oldest granddaughter of my grandmother who's deceased, and there's a couple of properties that 11 of us are owners, but they don't want to do anything with it. They don't want it. The other owners don't want it. So I told them that I would take it. The taxes are very, very low, like in the $20 range. I'm presently trying to get the death certificate. I mean, not the death certificate. I have the death certificate. I'm trying to get the what is it? The SS4s to make me the executor of that estate, so that I can go to the assessor's office and transfer the the information into my name, or should I transfer it into the trust name?
You should transfer it to the trust. So you should, so whatever estate that was issued to your grandmother when she passed away, if you're the executor of it, then you can sign it over to your personal trust.
To the family trust or the ministry trust?
Whichever trust that you decide.
It doesn't matter.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's presently where I'm at right now. So I need a secretary.
I know, yeah. Well, you let us know what help you need, Ms. Bay. We're here to support.
Okay, and I know I have an appointment with what's her name again? I forgot her name.
Yeah,
Gertie.
Our insurance specialist, yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember when the appointment was. I was looking in my appointment book, and I'm like, I know I got an appointment. When is it? I didn't see it.
So I'll have her reach out to you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Good talking to you.
Yes, God bless you, Ms. Bay. Thank you.
Thank you, you too.
All right, next we have Anthony, and then I'll head back over to the chat. Let's see. And then we have what? 5, 6 more questions in the chat. Anthony, you have a question?
Yes. I have a holding company, a LLC as a holding company already for my businesses. And should I dissolve that and just use the trust as my holding company going forward?
What you can do is you can have the trust be the authorized member of your holding company if you don't want to dissolve your holding company. If you have history or credit or assets and you don't want to dissolve it. But if you're not using it, then maybe you can't. So yes, you can dissolve it, and then you can have your business trust be the direct owner of those other entities or LLCs.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome, Anthony. All right, so next we have, let's see, we have Earl. He says, can the grantor be an LLC? How do we notarize the trustee is a trust or an LLC? So whoever the authorized member of that entity is, if it's an LLC or a trust, that authorized member needs to sign where it says it. So you're going to put the name of the entity on the bottom, but then the living person that's associated with it is going to actually sign and get it notarized. Next is, does the grantor file the EIN? Yes, that's correct. So when we're doing the SS4 form online, that is the EIN application with the irs.gov. The responsible party is the grantor. So all you need is their first name, last name, and their social security number. And then they're going to ask you for the trustee information. All you need is their first and last name. And then you're able to proceed with trust information, address, phone number, and get your EIN. So I will show you that process on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Next, we have, I have a child with special needs. Would I make her provisions in the family trust versus the business trust? You would make her provisions in the business trust unless you think that there's a chance that she might become a beneficiary in the business trust. So sometimes 100 years into the future, you never know if that successor trustee that is now acting as the trustee then puts a human as the beneficiary. But if that, if they're not going to, if you don't think that that's ever going to happen, then just only put the provisions inside of the trust where they're a direct beneficiary. So most likely that's the family trust. All right, so Lyric said grantor and co-trustee. So the LLC cannot be the grantor and the co-trustee. So the entities, whatever you choose, if they're a human or if they are, you know, an entity, they cannot be the same. So the grantor can be an LLC, and then the co-trustee has to be a human or has to be another entity that is not the same entity used as the grantor. The rules still apply. Is there a difference between virtual address and your office address? See, the only options you gave was the virtual address. So it's virtual address, and the virtual address is a commercial address. So that's what you want, especially with the trust. And if your office address is a commercial address, then use your office address. So if you don't mind that your private trust is associated with another entity, which is your LLC, then that's fine. Let's see. Next question is, what are the proper steps to take in case of name change of a trustee? So then all you would have to do is amend. So you would have to first do a board meeting to disclose that the trustee has gone through a legal name change. Then you have to disclose the new name, and then you have to amend the trust to now change the name that's on the trustee to the new updated name. So it's just those two things. Next is, I don't have a holding company LLC. Should I create one? No, you do not need an LLC that's a holding company. Your business trust is going to be your holding company. Okay, so if you have an LLC, then you're going to have your business trust be the owner of the LLC, and then your business trust is now going to be your holding company. But if you don't have that going, already, then that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to create the LLC if you don't want to. You can just run your business through the business trust. So Lyric said 2 different businesses, that's perfectly fine as long as they're different entities. The only issue that you're going to come across is who's actually going to be signing for both entities, because you don't want to have a conflict of interest to where your signature is both as the grantor and the trustee. That's going to put you in a detrimental situation. So if you have someone else who's able to sign for the grantor, then that's what you're gonna have to do. And then you can sign under the other business for the trustee. All right, so it looks like we are all done with Q&A, you guys, short and sweet. So what I want to do is I want to give you the homework. So the first thing is to get into the Facebook group, you guys, and get into the Telegram chat. So you should have received the in your email and your text messages, you should have received the invitation for, or the link to join our private Facebook group. So we have over 300, over 330 trustees in the Facebook group. In the Telegram chat. Okay, so the Telegram is specifically for us to chat. We have announcements on there. We also have any type of Q&A on there. We talk about real estate investing on there. There's a bunch of stuff that is either coming or there already. Okay, so and that's the quickest way to get like a response. And then we also have the private Facebook group. So that's where you can do posts, we do polls, we do networking on there. So there's a bunch of stuff that we do inside of the Facebook group. So you want access to both. So go ahead and click the link that's in the body of your email, and that's the invitation link for both. So now that you are in the private Facebook group, so once you request, ICA is going to go ahead and grant you access into the private group. And I want you to introduce yourself. So go ahead and introduce yourself inside of Facebook. Let us know, who you are as a trustee so that we can get to know you, as well as get into the Telegram chat. And then you can also introduce yourself inside of the Telegram chat, because we are here building a community and we're pretty much going to do life with each other because we're all going through the same process. We're all trustees. We are all here very intentional about leaving a legacy and protecting our assets. And so there are a lot of trustees that are in the same states and cities. And so we are working really hard behind the scenes to get us all together. But in the meantime, and that's in person, but in the meantime, we get to network and connect with each other through our Telegram chat and through Facebook, okay? So that is the homework for tonight. So please, please, please go ahead and introduce yourself so that the rest of the community can welcome you and we can get to know you. And then we will be back tomorrow here at the same time. So we are going to have day 2 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. We are going to be going over the family trust, and you will receive your email with the resources and template that you're going to need for tomorrow for the family trust, okay? And you're going to receive that 1 hour before the actual workshop begins. And you're going to also receive a text message reminder with that information as well. So please look out for that. So we will meet here tomorrow on Zoom, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just continue to work on your checklist so that you are prepared for setting up your family trust tomorrow. Oh, go ahead.
Can I ask one question? One quick question.
Yes.
With Fidelity, can you you know, like you said, you could put $100 or $1. Is there a specific? Can you do like precious metals? Can you know, like do a copy and give them a copy of precious metals or coins?
I haven't heard of that, so I really don't know. You would have to contact them and ask them if they accept precious metal to fund the cash management account.
Okay.
Personally, I used banking information in order to wire the funds inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just give them a ring because I don't know the answer. I don't know if they.
What about bonds? What about bonds?
I'm not sure about bonds
Okay.
either. Yeah,
Okay.
the only thing that I know about is like cash.
Okay. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Miss Faye. All right, guys. So good night. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. I will see you here tomorrow. Same place, same time. The Zoom link is going to be different. So please go based off of the Zoom link that you receive tomorrow morning, 1 hour before the workshop. And I will see you guys and we will hit the ground running, starting our family trust. Okay. Everyone have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.